This is Vince Pierce, who manages the campus facilities of the Nova Scotia Community College in Yarmouth and Shelburne. He's turning a mess into an asset.
We're trying to come up with a system to reutilize that organic waste. So we set upon a system of composting, and then we thought, well, what are we going to do with the compost? So we then bolted on a greenhouse and set a system up to grow food that we could reutilize in the kitchens where most of the organic waste came from. So we're trying to work a system so it went 360. So the cycle is our seedlings are planted and they're placed in trays up in the library. Once they start growing, they're brought down and transplanted into the greenhouse where they grow. The vegetables are then picked, taken up to the kitchen and used, and then the compost goes back into the seedlings, and that's the 360 cycle.
The Yarmouth campus was once threatened with prosecution for the way it handled its solid waste. Today it recycles 88%, winning awards for its sustainable waste management. NSCC provides occupational education and training on 13 campuses and in 6 community learning centers. The campus on the Dartmouth waterfront was designed to be a model of sustainability that would lead the whole province.
The province wanted to build by 2015, so we're ahead of the game here, wanted to build a building that demonstrates the highest level of sustainability as a demonstration building for the province. That's the building that we're in right now.
The building was constructed to LEED Gold standards, which require top quality energy and water efficiency, use of renewable local materials, respectful use of the land, and much more. The building has 3 living walls, 2 inside and 1 outside, plus 8,000 square feet of green roof growing a range of local plants. It has photovoltaic panels, geothermal and passive solar heating and cooling, and 5 types of wind turbines.
Building efficient buildings, they save money, so there's a business case to it, and these buildings are durable. You know, we're building for 100 years.
The same sustainable building and operating principles now apply to all of the college's buildings, a total of 2.4 million square feet. The approach, says Mike Chapman, is continual improvement. But how do you know if you're improving? You measure.
You can't manage what you're not measuring. It's essential, so we can benchmark how we're doing, so we can set goals for ourselves. So for the past 5 years, we've really kept our finger on the pulse to monitor, how much energy we're using, how much water we're using, how we're doing with our waste diversion, and we've been able to track real improvements. Where we are now, 65% of the waste that we generate as a college is diverted from landfill, which is quite a bit better than the provincial average of 46%, which in itself is quite good. Our energy consumption, in the past 5 years, we've reduced our energy consumption by 7% across the entire college, even though we've added 160,000 square feet of building space.
That reduction cuts greenhouse gas emissions substantially and saves nearly $1 million in cash. Academic Chair Don Jardine was deeply involved in planning the waterfront campus, and he's very proud of it. But he and Mike Chapman both make the point that the building's real function is much deeper than mere physical sustainability.
This building was built as a sandbox. It was built with rooms that are flexible, rooms that have tools, rooms that have spaces for students to gather in projects. All of that then transforms the building itself and the amenities of the building into teaching and learning tools. Beautiful buildings, those that have recently been built, but we're not in the business of building buildings, and we're not in the business of maintaining buildings. We do both, and we take pride in what we do, but it has an ultimate goal, and that goal is teaching and learning in the classroom, in the shops, in the labs, and with industry.
Today, the Nova Scotia Community College has a very sophisticated view of sustainability. It wasn't always so.
When we first started, it was basically environmental. It was reducing energy, carbon footprint, water usage, and it has moved into ensuring that our students, our staff understand their impact on the world, on the cultural, social well-being of Nova Scotia.
For Don Jardine, sustainability is a form of literacy, a lens through which we see the world.
How do we maintain this planet? We spent a lot of time talking about reducing, reusing, recycling. Maybe the tipping point has arrived. We need to reinvent. And let's talk about rethinking what we're doing. And let's move more into restoration, rejuvenation, revitalization. Those aspects. That then becomes the literacy of sustainability.
So, sustainability becomes as essential to our intellectual toolkit as the ability to read or count. And NSCC sees it as part of the college's mission to spread that literacy throughout Nova Scotian society.
I think the Nova Scotia Community College can be a catalytic force for helping people not only learn the skills that they need to be successful in the economy, but also to think differently. And it's our belief that thinking differently also includes working differently and collaborating differently. So we have our learners understanding that sustainability is a driving force in all that they do at the college. We hope that they'll continue with that mindset when they're in the workforce.
A somewhat surprising dimension of sustainability is safety. It starts with physical safety.
In a shop like this years ago, there would have been an odor and you would have known intuitively that you were in some sort of an industrial setting. And so we've taken a look and said, well, why is that? You know, if you can smell it, that's the off-gassing from some sort of a product. Again, that's bad for the environment. It's not good for humans either. And it probably has some other hazard associated with it, a physical hazard.
But safety, like sustainability, is a big, broad concept.
For us, safety is much larger than just physical safety. It's emotional safety. It's safety of thought. It's recognition that if you come from a diverse background, you will be accepted, you'll be welcomed.
And it's job security. It's the freedom to take worthwhile risks and possibly to fail. It's the creation of a safe space for innovation. At the Strait campus in Port Hawkesbury, Diane Johnson-Snook, an NSCC graduate, runs an innovative transitional program for the disabled called Straight to Work.
We're growing citizens who are going to contribute to whatever area it is in their life that they have an interest in and what area they want to live in. So with persons with disabilities, we really want to help support having the doors open up, and that all of these students had significant amounts to contribute to their communities.
Sustainability has also become a focus in the Natural Resource and Environmental Technology program, which once was largely about logging and harvesting. Now, Minga O'Brien teaches a much more holistic and sustainable approach to forestry.
There's great benefits, long-term benefits to the community and to rural sustainability. Because when you go out and you're marking trees and you're managing on a selection basis, you're, in the short term, taking out the poor quality trees and leaving the better quality trees and the better potential quality trees. So that down the road you have higher value trees to take out, and which in turn supports a higher value sawmill industry, and which in turn allows for more manufacturing options. Right now, Nova Scotia has some of the lowest value added in the forestry sector for any province in the entire country.
NSCC's commitment to sustainability represents a new way of doing business. But business is increasingly doing business in a new way too. Jamie Surrett, who sits on the NSCC Board of Governors, heads the family-owned Surrett Battery Company in Spring Hill. Surrett Battery supplies the renewable energy market, builds its batteries from recycled materials, and uses geothermal heating.
Our business now, over 50% of our production is going into renewable energy systems, renewable energy storage. As a result of the recyclability of the product, we're actually able to bring recycled lead out of Montreal, which isn't terribly cost prohibitive. So sustainability has been very important from the company's perspective. And then furthermore, we've been able to tap into the natural resource of geothermal in Spring Hill, which has allowed us to lower both our heating and cooling costs, and has actually provided some help on the production process side to reduce our process time. We do export globally, and we have a wonderful customer that manages our product distribution throughout Australia. And recently, one of our employees, who just so happens to be an NSCC grad, came up with the idea or the question of why were we printing and posting or mailing financial invoices and statements to Australia, because by the time they would be received by the head office in Sydney, they would already be past due. And in order for us to be paid on time, we were already emailing those documents in order for them to be received on time. And that small little question led to, why are we printing and mailing any statements or invoices?
A key feature of sustainability is integration, seeing work as a shared activity, planting the seeds of tomorrow in the events of today, being equally willing to think and to act. Will Nickerson is an NSCC graduate in carpentry who now manages the facilities at the Shelburne campus. He's still taking courses at NSCC, and in one class he learned about a device built of pop cans that collects hot air. Could water be heated the same way?
Pop cans were readily available because we recycle them here anyway, which we put the money back into for the students. But anyway, I took 283 of them and cut them and made the foundation for it, put it in, and started tinkering with it. And then just over the last 2 years started adding a few odds and ends. And now we're heating, in the summer we totally heat all the hot water here from the solar.
None of this was in his job description.
When I first started, I thought that I was just going to be doing maintenance. that was what my title was maintenance. And then I go from maintenance to greenhouses. I go out everywhere, basically. I help the students out, I help the faculty out as much as we can, and I enjoy talking with people. So this is great. This is a great job.
Inventor, researcher, teacher, advisor, building contractor, Will Nickerson is giving the college and his community much more than they bargained for. In an organization with 19 locations, 2,000 employees, and 20,000 students, is there a way to measure the institution's overall progress on the many dimensions of sustainability? It turns out there is. It's called STARS, Sustainability Tracking, Assessment, and Rating System, and it was developed specifically for institutions of higher education.
The three major categories are operations, education, and planning, admin, and engagement. Within those three categories, there's several credits that you obtain credit for as you go through the STARS certification system, such as any energy initiatives that we have, how we build our buildings, employment engagement surveys, diversity, do we have sustainability as part of our strategic plan? So there's a wide array of questions that fall within those three major categories.
Gathering the information to complete a STARS submission is a big task. Do you have an organic garden, waterless urinals, a climate action plan, vegan meals, sustainability courses and research, a committee on responsible investing, water fountains instead of bottled water? Vice President Monica Foster was responsible for the decision to apply to STARS.
What I learned was how good we were as an organization, and that we are really second to none in Atlantic Canada, top 4 in Canada right now, and have done an amazing job at learning as we go.
NSCC's newest facility is a community learning center in the Wagmatcook First Nation in Cape Breton. It's the satellite campus of NSCC Port Hawkesbury, where Tom Gunn is principal.
Wagmatcook approached us with this building that they were really recycling. It was their former school, and they had a real vision and a plan to reach out to all of northern Cape Breton, to Victoria County, and to northern Inverness County, and bring Mi'kmaq and non-Mi'kmaq students together and to develop skilled trades training for them.
In addition to training in trades like electricity and carpentry, the Wagmatcook Learning Center will offer a fascinating one-year certificate program in Mi'kmaq health and wellness, which can lead to a diploma, which in turn can count towards a university degree. Evan Gugu went to this school as a child and took his carpentry training from NSCC. He worked on the new school and on the transformation of the old school.
This school has ended. The elementary, high school is done. There's a new building for them. They have a new beginning for them. for us now with this building, there's a new beginning, and it's for not just our youth, but it's for the next generations to come. The Native people, we not only think of our future, of our kids. Me and myself, I try to think 7 generations ahead, not just for my grandkids, but so many, like 7 generations. That's a long time, right? How can I help them? What can I leave behind to help them?
You might think that NSCC's people would be stressed out by this intense focus on sustainability, but apparently not.
It wasn't my dream job. It is now my life and my passion.
I love my job.
Smiling walking in and smiling walking out.
I feel fantastic every day when I come to work.
Where else could you do this and get paid?
Search me. Thanks for watching.